Hey everyone, welcome to Let's World Podcast. I'm your host for today, Nayan, and on today's episode we'll be covering the Megalopolis trailer and Francis Ford Coppola news, a live-action Tomb Raider series and a live-action Spider-Man Noir series, Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock teaming up, MCU TV series release dates, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow release date, and Furiosa details from Cannes Film Festival, which came out today, John Wick Spin-off news, and the Dune Prophecy trailer. Joined here by James as always. Let's just get into it. It's a long one. It's a lot to talk about. A lot of TV series.
Yeah.
Alright, for this one we'll talk about the trailer first for Megalopolis, and then we'll get into the lovely news of Francis Ford Coppola. So Megalopolis is Francis Ford Coppola's baby, so to speak. He's been working on it for ages. It stars Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, and Shia LaBeouf. It's going to show at Cannes Festival tomorrow, or probably, actually not tomorrow, probably Saturday for us, on the 17th of May for you guys. And it's going to release sometime in 2024. So, James, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Personally, I love the trailer. It's a little bit of an extension of what we saw in that first look that we covered a few weeks ago. It basically just is the same thoughts that I had when I watched that first look. You know, visually, this movie's going to be so impressive. If it is going to be on the IMAX screens, then I'm going to be there because I want to see something like this in IMAX. The visuals look really, really great. It's a really good mixture of, at least VFX wise, something that's pretty impressive based on the trailer. Who knows what the final product's going to be like, but also, the cinematography, the lighting, there's so many kind of, styles and aesthetics that are in here. But yeah, from a really polished director, Francis Ford Coppola, he knows what he's doing, at least on the technical side of things. So I know we're going to be in for a treat for that. I'm very, very curious to see what the reception is coming out of Cannes Film Festival. We've heard whispers here and there about what this movie's like, and it sounds like it's going to be a divisive one. Some are going to love it, some are going to hate it. As for what I'm getting, I guess, narratively from these looks is that, New York's on the brink of destruction. Shout out Civil War. It's very similar in that sense. And it's just kind of like the Western society, the ultimate pinnacle, which is kind of New York City of Western society. It's just going downhill, and, you got this architect here who's trying to reinvent the wheel and, I guess, create a better future, something along those lines. But in terms of that concept, I think it can be quite a timely movie, and it might actually be something that's quite thought-provoking. I think we're seeing a lot of things, happen in the world these days where you kind of get a little bit worried about where the future's going for, a lot of countries and cities and all that stuff. So it may be timely. Some quite powerful themes might be in it, but who knows? We're going to cover some details very shortly about what happened on set for this movie, and that kind of gets me a little bit worried. I'm more worried that this film's not going to be able to find a distributor because of what we're about to talk about soon. But anyway, you've seen the trailer as well. What do you think about it?
Same thoughts as yours. I think it's going to be a technical masterpiece, and I think this year is really, really stacked for that already. I mean, we had Dune, Furiosa comes out shortly, and we all know if it's anything like Fury Road, then we'll get a lot of technical awards as well, and this as well. So that's if this ends up releasing this year, if it can find something. So I think this year's technical categories for Oscars is going to be really, really interesting.
For sure.
Who comes out on top. I'm pretty much the same with you on the story front. It didn't really give away that much in terms of the story. It just gave away like a brief synopsis. Like you said, there could be more to it than meets the eyes. There could be a whole deeper theme, or it could literally just be that. But all we know is that Adam Driver's a really fantastic actor, and I think he'll be a shining light in this for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think the way this is going to go down in terms of the themes and messaging of the movie, I think it's just going to be super subtle where it's almost like experimental. It's got that experimental feeling to it where you kind of don't get it and there's not enough material for you to really dig deeper. And I think that's where the divisive nature of this movie is going to come. But in terms of what you're talking about, technicals, if we were to end the year now and Best Cinematography nominees were Dune Part 2, Challenges, Civil War, Furiosa, and Megalopolis, I couldn't even be mad. And that's only the 5 movies that we've kind of like seen bits of this year. Yeah. So already it's stacked. Yeah, a lot of competition moving forward.
For sure. All right, we'll get into the second part of this segment, which is Francis Ford Coppola. He has been making the headlines for all the negative reasons, you know. This is from cast members on the... Whoops, I swiped my screen away a little bit. This is from cast members of the film. So I'm going to read out all of these
allegations.
Allegations.
Yeah,
I don't know
accusations,
if it's accusations or allegations against him, and we'll discuss. So FFC, Francis Ford Coppola, he's too long to say, so I'm going to refer him as FFC from now on. Allegedly, he smoked weed on set and would often sit in his trailer for hours smoking marijuana, and hours would go by without filming taking place. FFC would pull women onto his lap, and this is extras by the way, and try to kiss his female co-stars, which is the extras, when filming a nightclub scene. His justification for this was to try to get them in the mood. Apparently Megalopolis was written around 300 times over the years. Crew members said it was like watching a train wreck unfold day after day, week after week, and knowing that everybody there had to try their hardest to help the train wreck be avoided. Most of the visual effects team were fired or quit halfway through filming, and it's reported that he reportedly ditched the volume filming for more traditional screen. I'm not a tech savvy guy, so I'm not 100% sure what that means. But the comment was, his dig at us was always, I don't want to make a Marvel movie. But at the end of the day, that's what he ended up shooting. So James, all of these allegations, nothing positive. What is, I think I might know what the main takeaway here is, but what's the main takeaway and what do you think of these allegations against him?
Yikes. First of all, let's make sure that we clarify that these are just allegations. I saw that an assistant producer came out and said, I've heard nothing of this, and that he's been working with him for 35 years. So who knows? It's kind of just, he said, she said. I'm sure we're going to get more information coming out ahead of the release of this movie. I don't think at this point a distributor is going to pick it up with a film that has so much heat on it, alongside all the financial components which already make this film a disadvantage in itself. No studio is going to want to pick up a movie with controversy behind it, like The Flash. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, like Warner Brothers. Well, okay. He's smoking weed on set, and would sit in his trailer for hours. I mean, it can create a little creativity vibe.
When I read that, I just thought of Quentin Tarantino automatically. I was like, that is something Tarantino would fully do, except instead of by himself, you like get the whole cast and crew in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's I don't think might not be a detriment to the thing, but I guess you're kind of wasting everyone else's time by just chilling out and smoking marijuana. The thing that is obviously the biggest negative is pulling women onto his lap, kissing other females who I believe were topless at the time, just to try and get them on the mood. One thing I will say is that I did hear that he would kiss people on the cheek, like women on the cheek. And, that is an Italian culture thing. That's what they do. It means that they're friends. So it could just be a massive misunderstanding on that part. I have no clue. I was not there. I'm just suggesting that could be a part of the equation. But yeah, from what it sounds like in terms of the allegations is terrible. And to get them in the mood is really not... I mean, this guy's 85. He was born in the 1930s, It's not the way to get them into the mood. It's all about the aesthetic and the environment and the intimacy that he can create as a director, pulling all those pieces together to try and get them into the mood for whatever nightclub scene we're talking about here. And yeah, it doesn't sound like a good experience for any crew member beyond Francis Ford Coppola. But I will say that the look and feel of this movie does not align with a production that went through absolute hell. I'll just say that. Most of the time when you hear about these movies that go through a lot of production issues, they usually, you can get a good feel of that through the promotional material prior to the release. And yeah, regarding the volume filming thing, that's like stuff that Mandalorian does with those, I think those LED screens and stuff. Yeah. And so he's just gone for green screen here. So I guess that's fine if that's what he wants to do. That's okay. I'm not going to be mad at that. But yeah, a lot of controversy. Movie doesn't look like it. But hey, I'm still excited. I will just have to see. We need more information to come out before I can, just go full on hate mode to this movie.
Yeah, for sure. Like, whenever like a film has this sort of criticism, you can see it reflected in the final product. Like The Flash and Aquaman, like you can clearly see that there's on-set issues and the way visuals looked ended up being, and like the performances cast members were doing. But yeah, based on the trailers alone, this looks like as if the visual effects team worked, wanted to work more, didn't get fired or quit, like they were all hands on deck for this one. So yeah, that's really, really surprising to hear. You're completely right. The women and the extras one is probably the main one that people would take away from this. Yeah, and rightly slow. But as you said, we can't really. This is all just allegations at this stage. Nothing is confirmed. Or these comments could have just been taken way out of proportion, and the reporters just, do what journalists do and
run with it, eh? Yeah.
Yep, and a headline's a headline, So yeah, I guess you're right, we have to wait for more information to come out before we can properly comment on whether FFC is the next Harvey Weinstein or if he's all good.
Gosh, don't put that out there, please.
All right, that's my cue to move on, so we will. Exactly. All right, so some big news here is Tomb Raider, or not big news, but if you're a gaming fan and Tomb Raider fan, it's big news for you guys. A live-action Tomb Raider series is in the works at Prime Video. Keep in mind the theme of Prime Video is going to be quite common throughout this podcast from here on out. Phoebe Waller-Bridge will write the series but not act, and she'll also serve as a producer as well. She's written episodes of Fleabag and Killing Eve, and she also co-wrote No Time to Die. When I saw this, I was like, really? So I had to double check that, and it's confirmed there's like 4 writers that worked on it, and she was one of them. So, James, I'm not sure if you're a big Tomb Raider fan or if you're even a fan of the original live-action film, but could you get behind this project?
Not yet. I'm not a big Tomb Raider person. I've played the games, I guess, just casually, not like from start to finish. I'm not a diehard fan, anything like that. So I don't care for them. I don't really follow the news. The live-action Tomb Raiders, both versions of them, I haven't enjoyed. The last one with Alicia Vikander, amazing, underrated actress, and she did well in the role, but yeah, the movie didn't work at all. Angelina Jolie was fine as well, but yeah, again, they didn't work. I think Tomb Raiders are a property that was always associated with the video game curse. That was a really big, I guess, narrative for a long time, and it's kind of being pushed away or proven wrong now that video games can't work in movies. I think we're starting to see that actually no. Some video games can be adapted to films quite well with the right people behind it. So yeah, speaking of right people, Phoebe Waller-Bridge will write the series. I think that's a good step in the right direction, because Fleabag and Killing Eve, they're really well received TV series. I've heard really great stuff from both of them. And obviously No Time to Die was really good. One of the best Daniel Craig Bond movies. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but it's up there with Casino Royale and what's the other one? Skyfall.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would put it up there, and it's really powerful, that entire third act. So I'm on board for it. I need to see more before I can get excited and before I can kind of get committed to watching something like this, because all of these series being announced, you got to pick them at this point in time. You got all these streaming services doing so many different series, and all these franchises doing series. You gotta have to be very selective in where you put your time, because TV series, it's a good 6 to 10 hours depending on the episode. So I'm gonna have to see more before I'm fully or can fully buy into this. But yeah, I don't know how much of a Tomb Raider guy you are on the video game side, but yeah. What about you? Are you excited? Would you watch?
Yeah, I've played a couple of the new versions of the games. I think I'm halfway through the second one now. I am quite excited for this, mainly because of the fact Prime Video is doing it, and they've recently done Fallout, and that is a fantastic series.
Good point.
I've almost finished it. I've got 2 more episodes left, but from what I've seen so far, they've done the video game justice, and they've just managed to capture the look and feel of that whole world. So I have complete faith in them that they'll be able to do this right, and they do other fantastic series as well, Invincible and The Boys. Probably others there as well that's not coming to my mind right now.
Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
That too, it's fantastic, probably the best one in my opinion. No, that's a lie. It's probably the worst one. So yeah, I do have faith in them. I think they'll be able to really capture this. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I haven't seen Fleabag or Killing Eve, but I have heard really good things about it. But I have seen No Time to Die, and I think it is a great movie as well. So I could get behind it. The big thing would be is who they cast as Lara Croft. That's probably going to be the best or the most intriguing one. They go with someone up and coming, or someone that's completely unheard of, or someone who's in that mid-range, or they could just flip it and just go with a high-profile sort of actor or actress. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think that casting for Lara Croft is the biggest thing that they need to do here, or the most important thing, because we've had Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander, and they did a good job in their roles, and they are talented actresses, but the movie still didn't work. It's about making the character interesting. That's something that I could never get behind with these movies. If failed to give me a reason to care about the characters. I think that's the key here. But yeah, I don't know who would play Lara Croft at this point.
Me neither.
Do you have anyone in mind?
I have no one in mind. I'm just trying to think of brilliant actresses, and no one's coming to mind right now.
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, that's the only one. That's why I stopped saying what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. My mind's gone blank. Yeah.
Unless they... Oh, no. I have no idea. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out soon.
Tom Holland.
Hey, he has been in a brunette wig before, so don't count it out. Alright, you guys at home, could you get behind a live-action TV series for Tomb Raider? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have any picks as who could play Lara Croft, let us know. And me and James will look into it and try to get that done for you. Alright, next topic is Spider-Man Noir. So we first saw Spider-Man Noir in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Bro, this is so confusing, man. Into the Spider-Verse. I knew you'd correct me on that one. He was voiced by Nicolas Cage, and now Nicolas Cage is going to star in a live-action Spider-Man Noir series. The series will be for, you guessed it, Prime Video. Steve Lightfoot, who worked on The Punisher, and Oren Uziel, who worked on 22 Jump Street, will serve as showrunners, and Henry Bradbeer and Fleabag will direct the first 2 episodes. So, James, are you intrigued for this Spider-Man live-action noir series?
I'm intrigued 100%. And that's because Nicolas Cage is going to star, not voice, star as a live-action Spider-Man noir in the series. He's 60 years old now. I don't know how this can work. The only way I think it can work is for not to be an action-driven series, which is a hard thing to do for any kind of Spider-Man thing. So how it's going to work it's going to be interesting. I mean, you have 2 very different, I guess, directors or showrunners here. Steve Lightfoot, Oren Uziel, one did 22 Jump Street and the other did Punisher. It's 2 different types of... You're going for a heavy action-driven director or showrunner, and then, one who's kind of comedic-based as well there. So how it's going to work, I don't know. You certainly can't put Nicolas Cage in fight sequences because he's just going to be slow. I forgot there was this conversation that was happening a while ago for some superhero where the guy was kind of aging and he just looked slow out there fighting. I think it was Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny. He just kind of looked sluggish and lethargic, and that's what you're going to get with Nicolas Cage here. So it's probably going to have to be a series where there's not much action happening, and perhaps it's more of like a detective kind of series with Spider-Man at the forefront of that. But I mean, how it's going to look, is the whole thing going to be black and white, kind of, taking on that gag that Into the Spider-Verse did? And yeah, I think that could be interesting. I feel like you should have just done an animated series. I just don't know why this is an animated Spider-Verse series. Like, you could really go for it, but being on Prime Video is surprising. I thought it'd be Netflix, considering the Sony and Netflix partnership. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to see how this looks before. It's the same thing as Tomb Raider. I'm gonna have to see how this looks before I can buy into it. But it would be something that's interesting about it. On the other side of things, Henry Bradbeer, who did Fleabag, Fleabag I've heard great things about. So yeah, I'm in a little bit. But yeah, we gotta wait for more. What about you? It's an interesting one.
I'm the same boat as you. I would be completely out if it's not in black and white. I think for me it has to be in black and white because that's how he was Into the Spider-Verse. So it just has to be. And the fact that it's Spider-Man Noir, which is literally black and white. It's a bit stupid to have it in colour. I sort of agree with you in regards to Nicolas Cage and the action sequences. I think he could still do he could still be like a brawler type of Spider-Man where he just, throws punches and stuff like that. But I'll be fully down for a detective sort of Spider-Man, something less actiony. I know a lot of people won't like it, but a lot less actiony and more like, Spider-Man actually using his brain, because we barely see that in any of the movies. So him as a detective would be awesome as to see, and it would just be a breath of fresh air for the superhero genre in general. We're so used to these big action sequences that we don't really get a pure detective or the superhero, showcasing their brains. The closest we got was probably the Batman recently, where he actually was a bit more of a detective. So yeah.
I mean, for me, I think one thing to put me in the kind of right frame of mind to watch this, make it R-rated. Make it kind of like a Spider-Man who's older, obviously, because it's Nicolas Cage. He's kind of lost his way. He doesn't have that, teenage side to him. He's very serious and kind of does, kind of messed up stuff like, I guess, drugs and sleeping around, and he's trying to recapture that spirit to him, and goes on a massive, investigation. I think that'd make it super interesting, and you'd see a completely different side to Spider-Man, because we always see the young man who's funny and haha kind of guy. Yeah.
Pretty much. You guys at home, do you want to see the funny haha kind of guy Spider-Man, or do you want to see this drug addict Spider-Man trying to
I don't know, not drug addict. No, it's not too much.
Or this R-rated sort of pitch for Spider-Man. Dude, you want something more slower and a detective? Let us know in the comments down below. Alright, sticking it with streaming, not Prime Video this time, I promise you. On one of our previous podcasts, we announced how Disney Plus and Max were doing a little merger for us, a little streaming package. Well, now, I think we predicted it, that more streaming services will do it. If we didn't, we did. And now we're all right. Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock are teaming up to form their own streaming bundle. It would be at a vastly reduced price. James, would you buy this product? Is my question to you.
Yes, I would. But in saying that, I said that for Disney Plus and Max. So now that we got another bundle, I don't know which one I would choose out of the two.
I was about to rephrase my question and be like, which one would you buy?
No, yeah, I don't know. Maybe by the end of the segment I will know, but I don't know. They both offer, very different things. I like what Peacock has to offer, and a lot of what Apple TV does is actually quite good. And I'm not the biggest fan of Netflix, and it's kind of like Disney Plus and Max. I love what Max does. Not too fond of what Disney does. It's just classic nostalgia, movie magic that we're used to. But yeah, man, the question I had for you it was the last podcast where we covered this, and I asked you, or the one before that, but I asked you, I'm like, is this going to be the new norm? And a week later, it's like, oh, okay, here's another one teaming up. I don't know the other streaming services that can team up now. I mean, there's obviously Prime Video out there still, But yeah, this is the new norm, man. This is what streaming is going to come to, because I think they're all seeing that the current model for a streaming service isn't working. People don't have the kind of money to pay for 3 different platforms. They really only have the money to do one, especially with the current economic financial situation throughout the world, the cost of living crisis that I think most major countries are going through at the moment. They have to be selective, and I guess this is the way for studios to kind of combat against that and try and squeeze out as much revenue as they can. They got to form collaborations. Honestly, if there's something that can there's some kind of third party out there that could combine or mix and match different streaming platforms, 100% I'd be on board for that, and that's what they should be doing. Say some random platform comes and you can purchase 1, 2, 3, and it gives it at a discounted rate, and then but a portion of that revenue goes to each studio. I feel like that would be the way to do it. I feel like this isn't the last collaboration we're going to see, despite the fact that Peacock's with Netflix now. I think Peacock and Disney Plus could do something in the future. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, are you going to buy it, or would you buy this?
I probably would. I think that's real good value for money right there. Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock. There's just so much content there. I mean, you still get Netflix was the original streaming platform. And look what it spawned. It spawned a lot more now. It's bringing everyone together, so to speak. So I'll probably buy. I would probably buy this over the Disney Plus and Warner Brothers one.
Yeah.
Because you're completely right. Disney Plus is just purely nostalgia. They don't do anything creative or original series unless it's Marvel or Star Wars. But Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock, they're they still have their well-known franchises, but they do a lot of original series as well. It's just more as what you'll get in the bundle, whether you get limited access to their libraries or if it's just specific ones I don't know, for example, Netflix original, Apple TV Plus, movies, and Peacock, just a certain franchise.
Right, yeah.
Or if you get all 3 libraries at a vastly reduced price. If that's the case, this bundle is an absolute steal, and I'd say it's a must buy if it's available in your country, which I think it should be.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the Apple TV library, I know that I've heard really good stuff from a lot of the things, but I'm not familiar with much from Apple TV, so that would be a platform I'd love to explore a little bit more, see what they have to offer. Yeah.
You guys at home, would you buy this bundle, or if you had to choose between Warner Brothers and Max or this, which one would you choose? Let us know in the comments below. Alright, we got some unwanted news. We're getting all these TV series from the MCU, and we now have the release dates for them. Some of them were announced 10 years ago, but we'll get into that. So the first one, the TV series Agatha, finally has an official title. It's called Agatha All Along and released on September 18th. The previous titles were Agatha were Agatha House of Harkness, Agatha Coven of Chaos, Agatha Darkhold Diaries, and a long one, Agatha the Lion Witch of the Great Wardrobe, which was posted and later deleted on the Marvel account. The way they released this title was, I think they sort of took the mickey out of themselves, and they went through all of these titles here in a little video, and then it finished with Agatha All Along. So they did not plan that. No way they can say, "Oh yeah, we planned all along." No, no. But you could clearly tell they were taking the mickey out of themselves. So Agatha All Along released on September 18th this year. Ironheart will release next year, and Daredevil Born Again will release in March 2025. Now, with Daredevil Born Again, it will be 9 episodes, which is reduced from the initial 18, I believe. The trailer has been described as it will include bloody action sequences, and there's a sequence in there where Matt Murdock is saying the whole system is against you, and it's basically David versus Goliath. So, James, I know you don't care about any of these, maybe about Daredevil, but what do you think?
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again, it's hard. That one's hard for me to get around to. I need to see how it's going to go, because this was previously announced as, 18 episodes. I think they're all shorter or something like that. And then we found out that the whole thing was a complete mess, and they changed the entire creative team behind it. And now it's been reduced from that and completely different story. But it's just one of those like production woes, creative issues on a project. It doesn't really give me good faith. I hope, because they have such a great starting point in the Netflix Daredevil series, they're brilliant. So you have so much good to run off. Just keep going with that, and hopefully it can do that. So I'm intrigued. It comes out sooner than I was kind of anticipating, but hey, I will most likely watch that one. Ironheart, I have zero interest. In fact, I have negative interest. I'm going to try and wipe it from any suggestion that Disney Plus will give it to me, because I don't want to see that. I've seen enough in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Don't need to see that one again.
I completely forgot she was on that.
Yeah, she was a Transformer bot. Like, the design of the suit. Oh, it's awful. No words about that one. Agatha All Along. Look, if it comes out and, reviews are, 98% or 96%, it's got twists and turns you didn't see coming, crazy stuff, then I might tune in. I think they can do some clever stuff with it, but I have no interest prior to that if it is going to become a reality, because it's just not a character that I care for the MCU. And if they're going to try and make me watch it because it fits in with the larger MCU, I'm still not going to buy into that. I need to know if it's actually good quality. But yeah, Agatha All Along, it just should never have been a series. I think the character was cool. I like the character from WandaVision, but it doesn't warrant, 6 to 8 episodes all to itself. I don't know. What about you?
I'll probably only watch Daredevil Born Again. I enjoyed the series on Netflix, and I'm interested to see how Marvel would do justice to this character now that they are taking control of him. The whole, the creative issues thing is a bit negative on that, but, we're getting the original cast returning as well, so that's always a highlight, and they have to include a one take action sequence in there. It's like a right, all the other seasons have it. It would be a big disappointment if Disney doesn't do it. If I had to watch another one, it would probably be Agatha All Along, just because I want to see what it's like if it went through so many name titles. It's just out of pure intrigue, but that's probably only if I'm like sick at home and I have absolutely nothing to do, and I'm flicking through and I accidentally hit play on this, and then falls down on the couch and I just can't get it anymore, and I'm just stuck there having to watch it. That's when I watch it. Otherwise, I don't care. And Ironheart, who gives a fuck about that anyway? No one.
Wait, so if Agatha All Along gets amazing reviews, would you watch it?
I don't know, because can you trust amazing reviews right now? I mean, Miss Marvel, is high 90s, and that's a mid-TV series, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that started off really great, though, to be fair, to its credit.
So I think I'll probably just have to, I don't know, I'll have to have a look at what the reviews are, what they're actually saying. If it's like stuff like, blah, blah, blah is really, really good, then that's just the critics kissing ass to that particular actor or actress. But if it's like, it fits into a wider scope, or all the stuff you mentioned, like, there's twists and turns and stuff like that, then I'll give it a shot. But other than that, who cares?
Well, it goes back to our criticism about how MCU shows are reviewed, or any shows are reviewed. The studio will release the first 3 episodes to critics, and then they write a review, and Rotten Tomatoes scores it down. And then the last half of the series is dog shit. So, it's something where I would have to wait until kind of at like the very end, where everyone's still like raving and hyped about it. Something like Andor, 0 interest, couldn't care less. I needed a break from Star Wars, but I heard consistently like, this is so good, this changes everything. How is this like within like Star Wars and all that stuff? And then obviously, we had our mate going off about it. So it's one that you have to watch only if it's like that. But there's nothing in my mind, at least, that could make me watch Ironheart. I don't care how good it is, honestly. I don't care because we've had our Iron Man. Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. You guys out there, let us know what TV series you want to watch. And if anyone of you comments Ironheart, you have to justify why you're commenting it. And don't say haha troll, because we will just be mad and we'll do something drastic.
Don't set them up like that. Now everyone's going to comment Ironheart.
Good. And they better give justification as to why. All right.
Ugh.
Moving on. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is, we finally have a release date. Millie Alcock is being Carol Danvers, or... No, not Carol. It's like Captain Marvel. Kara Danvers as Supergirl. Craig Gillespie is directing. He also did Cruella. And the release date is June 26, 2026. So, James, what are your thoughts on this release date in particular, seeing that's the big news?
Well, I like it. It's clear that Supergirl is going to be the second movie in the DCU, at least major live-action movie, which is good. I always thought it was going to be Batman, Brave and the Bold. It's good that we're not going to get two Batmans in the same year now. So I think we can safely predict that movie is going to come out in 2027 now. So I think this is a good move because it's, you got Millie Alcock here as Supergirl. I'm fully for that casting. Craig Gillespie as the director here. This seems to give indication that it's actually official now, that he's actually on board for this movie. I think that's a great pick. You know, what he's been able to do to get out of performances from Emma Stone as Cruella. What he even did with Cruella was great. You also had him bring out one of the best performances in Margot Robbie in I, Tonya, kind of, solidifying her as a legitimate star and a great actress. So I think, pairing those two together is going to be something great, and 2026 just gives us something to look forward to in a couple of years. I'm on board for the Supergirl movie, and all signs are looking positive for the future of DC. It'd be good to see a good Supergirl adaptation on the screen.
For sure, me too, and I completely agree with you as well. I just hope that they reveal the suit in a better way than they did for Superman. But yeah, I pretty much got nothing else to add apart from, because you pretty much covered up all the main thing. It's almost a year release date from Superman. I think it's just a tad under 11 months. So yeah, I just hope we get a bit more details. I think all the major details will come out next year, but hopefully we can get some more casting and maybe just a little 2-word synopsis or something in regards to this, just to really get the hype train a bit going.
Yeah, well, the one thing I'm loving from this DCU, at least in terms of the lack of release date announcements, is that we're not going to get so much content, all in really small batches. And I mean that in the sense of MCU, it's 3 movies a year and then 2 TV shows. That's quite a lot, especially when you consider the TV shows are week to week. But DCU, it seems like it's gonna do at least 1 big movie a year. They're gonna have obviously the stuff out on Max, like Creature Commandos, all that kind of stuff. But 1 big movie a year just to get started, just so I guess that James Gunn can be, a part of the process the whole time. I think this is great signs. So yeah, it's the right way you want to start your franchise, slow and steady. You can build up to something a lot bigger later on. But yeah, I think James Gunn's making the right move so far.
100%. Are you guys excited for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow? If you are, let us know in the comments. If you're not, let us know in the comments. All right. Furiosa has just made its debut at the Cannes Film Festival earlier today. It initially debuted at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. And just before this podcast might have changed now, it's now at 87% with an 8.6 average rating amongst all critics, which is stupidly high. Some of the comments coming out of Cannes is it's described as one of the best prequels ever. Anya Taylor-Joy's performance is fierce and gripping. And as always with a film at a film festival, you're going to get a standing ovation. This one got on for 7 minutes. So James, what are your thoughts on this? I don't really need to ask, are you hyped? But are you hyped?
No. Nah, I am hyped. Yeah, nothing changes, man. This is just kind of exactly what I expected. It matches kind of what the film was looking like in terms of the trailers that we were talking about, and kind of the reactions that we discussed as well. They align all together. The one thing, we talked about in our group chat a little bit before, but the positive light is that these reviews are coming out of Cannes, and Cannes historically, they have quite harsh reviewers before you get the online review critics like us jumping on the Rotten Tomatoes train and lowering that percentage down or the average rating down. So to know that the top best critics or more experienced critics, I should say, have probably seen it and reviewed it, I think that's a positive sign. Described as one of the best prequels ever. I think that's a really that's a big statement there. I'm gonna have to see how that goes, but yeah, man, I'm fully on board in terms of standing ovation. Yeah, they're all kind of 5, 6. Who records the times? Like, is someone there with like a stopwatch as soon as like the movie ends and the clapping starts? All right.
I think so, because like it happens at every film festival for every movie, so they have to hire someone there just to click, and then wait until the last person, I guess, stops clapping, and then.
What do they round up or down? So if it's like 6 minutes 31 seconds, is it rounded up? Or is it rounded down? Like, you got to make these rules fair so we can assess them properly.
Yeah, they should give the exact seconds.
So yeah, but I mean, there was a report that came out earlier this year about Anya Taylor-Joy and her experience on set with this film, and it wasn't all positive. It was actually quite bad. She was quite reluctant to go into details about it, but Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy, they also had quite bad experiences on set for a movie like this. So, but they still performed, like, they had really, really great performances. Charlize Theron as Furiosa was amazing, and probably the standout of the entire movie. She was amazing. But Anya Taylor-Joy here, 30 lines of dialogue, that's not going to stop her from acting her ass off. She's going to be good, and I think she's going to do some really impressive kind of acting, just in terms of their physicality and expressions and stuff. So she's going to be able to hold her own. I mean, you see it in a few days, 5 days or something like that. Yeah, we see it next week. I'm very keen for it.
Me too, man. I don't think I can get any more excited than how I already am. And I can't comment on anything more than what I've already commented. I just want to see it already. And I'll see it on Monday, and then I'm sure once James has seen it, we'll do a review, and then we can see if it lived up to my hype or expectations and if it's worthy of my number one spot.
For sure.
All right, are you guys excited for Furiosa? Let us know in the comments below. If your answer's no, then get out. All right, John Wick. We have a new spin-off in the works. So the current spin-off is Ballerina, which stars Ana de Armas, and it was supposed to come out this year? Next year?
Yes, I think it'll delay to next year.
Comes out next year. So this one's based on Donnie Yen's character Kane, the blind guy with the cane, and it starts filming in Hong Kong next year. James, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm undecided. Because to me, John Wick doesn't feel like a franchise you can just start spawning a whole new universe. Like, sure, the characters are cool and they have their special things to them. In this case, he's an experienced fighter that's blind. I think that's pretty cool. It's just kind of like a John Wick version of Daredevil. Oh, wait. He's blind, yeah. So it's just kind of like the same thing. So I'm not sure that I am a big enough fan of John Wick to just start buying into every spin-off. And I mean, I certainly didn't watch the Continental TV series. So yeah, we'll have to see if I'm on board for it. And it's the same with Ballerina. I've held the same kind of opinion. It's been tough to really get on board because we know what John Wick is, just the one franchise with Keanu Reeves, and it's been consistently great this entire time. But can it branch out to other characters? Are they interesting enough, and can they, I guess, hold their own in terms of what John Wick has provided us already? I think the reason why it's hard for a franchise like John Wick to continue till its fifth one, and they clearly wanted to end it, is because they always have to up the ante with the action. You've seen the first one, and then you get to the fourth one, and they have to keep making it more ridiculous, more insane and crazy and stuff. And that's because the audience just gets so used to the style of action from one movie that they want more. They need it to be more intense and stuff like that. It's almost like kind of like an addiction and stuff. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. But Donnie Yen's character was intriguing enough. I think there may be room for a story to be told here. So I'm on board, but I just worry about, like, in terms of, you know, how high can they really elevate the action before we start getting sick of it. At some point, the movie or the universe itself is going to have to give more care and tender to its characters rather than solely relying on the action being the most interesting part of this franchise.
Yeah, for sure. My preference would be not to have it based on an already established character. You know, Ballerina's a fresh new character, so my opinion, or what I would prefer, is if they're going to do spin-offs, to have unknown characters and explore the wider universe, you know, explore the Continental a bit more. Nowadays, not in the past, the Continental is a bit of an average sort of series anyway. But then again, Donnie Yen's character is quite interesting, you know, like they could explore. Keanu Reeves will probably be in this based on Ballerina, but they can explore his and John Wick's relationship a bit more. I'm not sure where this is set yet. I'm not sure if it's set after John Wick 4 or before. This is literally all the information we were given, so we have to wait and see for that. But yeah, my preference for this would just be I would have preferred a just completely new unknown character, just like how Kane was when John Wick 4 came around, and he was so cool. You're like, oh shit, this character's mean, because it's so different to what we've seen before. You know, a blind guy that went through the system as well and befriended.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really glad that this has been announced as a movie and not a series. We're seeing so much stuff these days, you know, with all these streaming platforms. It's like, oh, this random side character gets a series now. And it's like, oh, okay, I don't care enough about that character to watch an entire series, because it's just so much time that you got to invest to watch the series. And you don't even know if it's going to be that good. So the fact that it's a movie, it's a one and done, and then we can see if there's any potential to really let this character build their own franchise or trilogy or whatever it may be. So a one and done for Donnie Yen's character. I think we'll see if there's some potential there.
Definitely. Are you guys excited for Donnie Yen's John Wick spin-off? Let us know in the comments below, and if you have any ideas of where the story could go, let us know as well. Alright, 2024 is officially confirmed to be the year of the sand. We had Dune Part 2, we have Furiosa, and now, news to me, I had no idea this was happening, by the way. We have a Dune TV series that's going to show on Max called Dune Prophecy. It's relating later this year in fall. It is set 10,000 years before Paul Atreides is born, and the series follows the sisters Valia and Tula Harkin as they combat forces that threaten the future of humanity and establish the fabled sect known as Bene Gesserit. It stars Emily Watson, Mark Strong, and Travis Fimmel. And yeah, I had no idea this was happening until I woke up this morning. James, you've seen the there's also a trailer for this, by the way. So
yeah,
head over and watch it. I completely missed that. So head over and watch it. James, you and I have seen the trailer. What are your thoughts?
It looks good. I'm really excited for it. Visually, it looks great. It kind of just shows that Denis Villeneuve isn't that special of a director, because anyone can just come in and make this universe beautiful. So it wasn't him that made the Dune series great at all. Just kidding. Don't roast me. That was just a joke.
I feel that was aimed at one person.
No, I am joking. While it does look visually good, the blueprint is what Denis Villeneuve has set out here. Without him, creating that foundation, other people can't come and build off of it. So what he did is obviously, quite crucial to what this TV series is doing here. But I gotta say, I did hear about this, but not much at all, and I certainly didn't know, we're going to get a trailer anytime soon. I didn't know didn't know it was going to come out this year, but I had heard that they were trying to get a TV series to focus on, that sisterhood side of the Dune franchise. So yeah, and then I saw, and I was never on board with this. Dune didn't feel like a franchise that could branch into series, or it was too premature for it to try and get series. I'm like, we're still trying to really get into the larger universe of Dune through, these big budget blockbusters. So I was never on board for it, but watching this trailer, I'm actually kind of on board with it. I still don't quite know where it's going. We saw at the end of the trailer, it's got, Dune, and then it's surrounded by the different elements. So did you notice that?
I did not notice that, no.
Yeah, like D's earth, U is fire, and then N was like ice, and then air was E. And I'm like, oh, what does that have to do with things?
Avatar, let's go.
Yeah, it's inspiring everything at the moment. But the one thing I loved about this movie is it feels so much like Game of Thrones. I hope it can convert into something that's like that. But Dune seems to be a franchise and a world where it can be like Game of Thrones. So many different families, locations, lots of different kind of characters. So that's the beauty of Game of Thrones, is you got so many different narratives, so many different characters. It takes a while to actually grasp the full scale of what Game of Thrones is, but once that all clicks together in your own mind, it becomes really, really interesting to watch from here on out, just because there's so many moving parts. So if Dune Prophecy can be anything like that, I'm fully on board with it. At least from what it looks and feels like in the trailer, it seems like we are going to get something like that. But I've learned my lesson well enough to not expect Game of Thrones, at least early Game of Thrones quality from any series. It's going to have to prove it to me once it releases. So we'll see how it goes, but a good first impression for me.
Yeah, I had the exact same thoughts as you when I first watched it. This felt the vibes felt like Game of Thrones. I don't know what it was, whether it was the visual style or just the way that the trailer was constructed, but that was the first thing my mind went to. But yeah, I'll be watching this one. This is definitely one to keep an eye on. As you said, it looks visually well made as well, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm interested to see how the cinematography stacks up throughout the series. And the fact that it releases in September, October, or November, that's just so soon, considering we've heard literally nothing about it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also interested to see how Dune is handled outside of Villeneuve. Because, Dune 1 and 2 was his babies, and he's done such great work on it. How does anyone come in and try adapt what he has done, or, take it further, or something else, So, yeah. You Dune fans, I'm not sure. I wonder if the Dune fans will be excited for this. Kyne's one of them. I wonder if he'll be on board for this after watching that trailer.
Well, is Dune Prophecy, is it based on any source material? Because I know you got the Dune book franchise, which starts at the first movie, but that's I think it's a very long series of novels. Is there anything that's covering this story, or is it made up based on or adapted from those novels?
I genuinely have no idea. I'm not a big Dune book reader or book fan, so I'd have no idea. I think when I was briefly looking at it, I think I did see some mentions towards a book. So you could be right; it could be adapted from a book, but at least if it is based on it, they have some source material to bring in. They just have to, capture the look and feel of Villeneuve's movies.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating TV series, dude, because like you said, we've heard nothing about it, man. And I'm looking right here. I can't find the directors or showrunners or anything about it. And I've looked at two sources. It's not there. Not IMDb or Wikipedia has them down. And so it's so hard to know what this is going to be like without Dune. Who's kind of taking over it? I mean, yeah, I'm very fascinated, but we got a trailer before we got any word of who actually did it. So yeah. I'm very curious to see how it goes on.
When I was looking, there was no episode count either. So
yeah, and it's coming out this year.
Yeah, it's maybe. Oh, that's so weird. Like, we have footage, but no directors or screenwriters. That's so bizarre. Like, I've never seen that before, where we haven't heard of, apart from Moana, where we haven't heard of anything releasing, and then just a straight trailer. And it looks like it's like a finished product already. So they either would have filmed it with Dune Part 2 or very shortly after. And who knows?
Maybe Denis Villeneuve did it.
Yeah, he probably did it back to back, Who knows? But
my height would go straight up if that was the case.
I think so too. I think, holy shit, it will be like definitely up there for TV series for the year.
Yeah,
if you
for
did
sure.
do that. You guys at home, did you guys see Doom Prophecy coming? If you did, you're lying because no one did. And let us know in the comments below if you are hyped for it or not, and we will comment our thoughts on your comment. Alright, that will do us on today's Let's Be Real podcast. Hope you've all enjoyed today's show. It was a bit of a long one. Me and James aimed to make it quick fire, but I think we just got lost in conversation and lost us in quick fire. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel below. You'll be doing us a big favor. And don't forget to comment as well. We want to get your thoughts on all of these topics and we'll engage with you as well. If you want to head over to Instagram or X, flick us a message and we can have a chat with you. If you have any segment ideas or anything you want us to discuss in particular, let us know and we will feature you and give you a shout out on our podcast. If you don't like looking at us, it's fine, understandable. Head over to Spotify, wherever you pod from. Search Movie Gains and give us a listen on there. All of our Let's Be Real podcasts are there, including the ones from the earlier days if you want to listen to some shenanigans back then. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. We'll catch you on our next episode with Movie Gains. See you later.
Peace.